All right, here we go. Let's get into the questions, everybody. Being vote shamed. All right, before I read this, if you don't tell people who you're voting for, there's no way to be shamed. All right? I want to start a movement where somebody asks you who you're voting for, you should say, you should just tell them that that's rude. I don't answer rude questions like that. How dare you? How about you just go, how dare you? How dare you? What are you, taking a fucking survey? All right. Well, as a matter of fact, I am. Oh, really? And is my vote in your little circle of the fucking world going to make you have a good prediction of who's going to win or lose? Shut the fuck out of here. All right. Being vote shamed. Dear Billy, the wise ass. This is the first I like that. If I was a wrestler, that's what I would, if I was a manager. Billy the wise ass. This is the first election I'm able to vote in. Congratulations. I'm 20 years old, and I've been listening to you since I was 13. Oh, Jesus. I would load your podcast onto an iPod and listen on the bus to school. I really appreciate you not regurgitating everything I heard elsewhere in my life. You're a renaissance man, whether you like it or not. I got these young kids fooled. I appreciate that. But, you live a little more life and be like, nah, he's just sort of the loud guy at a bar. I read a lot and listen to non-mainstream media. That's great. I think he meant to say I recently, I read, I don't know. It says I've R-E-A, and I don't know what it says after that. I'm just going to continue. I've made my own judgment about how debilitating the establishment is toward our country. The news does not tell us what is really going on with our country's finances and foreign affairs. This cycle has been going on for decades, and I don't want to be a part of it. I'm voting for a third-party candidate whose principles I agree with. My friends are telling me that I'm wasting my vote, and I can afford to do it because I'm privileged, which is why I have the audacity to do something like that. Because they're not white and they need you to vote the way they want you to vote. All right. Aside from that stuff there, I don't think voting for a third-party person that you believe in that is actually an honest person and will hopefully stand up to the banks and the oil companies without getting whacked, I don't think that is ever a waste. And I always believe that you're encouraging more people like that to run for office. As far as what your friends are saying, it sounds like they're not white. If they're saying that stuff, I got to be honest, it's the guy who's in office right now is making them feel that way, which is what blows my mind about some friends that I have that are voting for Trump. And they're like, I just don't, show me an example of how he's racist, is like how they look at it. And it's just like, well, do you have any black friends? I don't know what to tell. What speeches are you watching? I can just tell you this. My biggest advice that I would give you is just don't tell people who you're voting for. And, if your heart's in the right place and you're voting for what you want to vote for, then there's nothing wrong with whoever you're voting for. Okay? Straight across the board. Democrat, Republic, Libertarian, third party, whatever the fuck you call it. Somewhere along the line, people just started saying who the fuck they were voting for. Liberals, celebrities, I don't know. Let me just continue reading this. My mother lost her business when I was in middle school, and we had to live with my uncle when the economy crashed and she lost everything. It wasn't her fault. Her landlord went bankrupt, and the bank sold the building to an investment group that used a loophole to condemn the building, put her out of business to end her lease, and then rented it out at twice the price the following year. Those fucking people are brutal. This has informed a lot of my views, and I don't apologize for it, despite being told I should. It's really unfair to be talked to like this, especially when the people telling me this have no understanding of things beyond what they read in the headlines on Twitter. I know you voted third party in the past. Has anyone in your family or colleagues ever tried to make you feel guilty for your beliefs? Oh, absolutely. I've always been told that I've been, throwing away my vote and stuff like that. But, you are privileged if you're white. It's just a fact. You just are. And I'm just going to tell you my point of view on this. Like, people misconstrue what that means. It's like, oh, we lost a house. We were broke. We went through this. We went through that. My dad died. That's like not what that's about. It means you can drive down the street and not have to worry that you're going to get pulled over because of the color of your skin and maybe lose your life. It's like that story I told you when my brother-in-law was driving across country and I was talking to him like he was a white guy, going, you got to do Route 66 and check out the fucking, the arch in St. Louis. And my wife ripped the phone out of my hand and had literally fear in her voice. And all my brother-in-law was going to do was drive across the country. And she was saying, only drive on the highways, only drive during the day, drive the speed limit, because she was worried that he was going to get killed just driving across the country. So that's what they mean. I used to think privilege. I'd be like, what are you talking about? I didn't know. I fucking paid for 90% of my college. I fucking worked my way through college. I got in this business. I didn't know anybody. That's not what they're saying. It's how you move through the world. Is what it is. It's not your how much money you had or if you went to a private school or not. It just means that you don't have to basically worry that you're going to get killed by your fellow countryman just for fucking how you look. That's what it means. All right, there you go. And I believe defund the police doesn't mean don't fucking pay them or get rid of them. As far as I understand it, somebody please give a clear definition. What I understand of it is we got to stop dumping all the mistakes of society onto cops and have them deal with the shit every day. Like, why are cops dealing with mentally ill people? They should be in institutions getting cared for instead of having the cops have to deal with that on top of all the other shit they have to fucking deal with. So I think that that's what it meant. And for whatever stupid fucking reason, they called it defunding, which sounds to me like, hey, pay them less or don't pay them, which is insane. Almost as insane as me tackling these huge topics here. All right. Policy doesn't create opposition. Opposition creates policy. What the fuck? Got to read this 12 times. Policy doesn't create opposition. Opposition create policies. Okay. I got to take a sip of throat coat tea here before I read this one. I could read that 1,000 fucking times and I would never know what it means. Hello, Bill. I am an admirer of yours and I think you put in a positive contribution to U.S. pop culture. All right. That was the most condescending first line ever. I think you put in a positive contribution to U.S. pop culture. Oh, do you? Is that what you think? I don't. I just think I'm an idiot that a certain segment listens to for whatever reason. I think my subject lines up with your philosophy in quotes, or at least it doesn't contradict it. I don't even know what dude, you're beyond me mentally. I don't know what that means. Policy doesn't create opposition. Opposition creates policy. This is like chicken or the egg. So if you oppose something, they create a policy to make it, to outlaw opposing it. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Can you expand on the idea that people don't really have genuine political opinions, but rather have an innate propensity to get into arguments, and that this is really what 99% of political debate in the U.S. and everywhere else and at every other time has been? Like, if my parents are liberals, I'm likely to be a conservative just to piss them off and vice versa. And if I'm not, what kind of a pussy am I? You know what I mean? No, because if you had parents that you liked, I think if your parents are assholes, you do stuff like that. Anyway, people are way less rational and way more emotional and confrontational just for the hell of it, right? I don't know. You're speaking vaguely or above my fucking brain. I don't know what you're saying here. I will say that, most discourse, is that the right word? It's just become people screaming at each other, which I've done. A couple of my relatives about politics, and I said like 12 times during it, we're not going to change each other's, this is such a fucking waste of time, and you still do it. I don't know. No matter what happens tomorrow, I'm just going to, I don't know. If I can have half the vibe that Travis Roy had when I met him that one time, I think you can really make the world a better place, despite if you don't like the person that's currently your leader. You know what I mean? I actually saw something fucking amazing today. I turned on the TV and a preacher was on, and he was really good, and I was listening to him. And he was saying the sum of your life and the impact that you have comes right down to basically the choices you make. And if you make positive choices, loving choices, that's the impact you're going to have on the world. And I was like, oh my God, I love this guy. I found a church. And then he goes, and when you accept Jesus Christ, I'm like, why do they always have to do that? Why can't they just stop right there before they introduce their guy that separates everybody? If you just accept this, if you just, every religion has a fucking guy or a lady, maybe they don't have a lady, and then it just stop right there. Because do I need to know the guy? If I did everything that you just fucking told me to do right before the Jesus Christ shit, even if I wasn't aware of Jesus, if the guy existed and is really the Son of God and I'm going to fucking meet the guy, I mean, if I don't know who the fuck he is, but I lived a great life and I spread love and positivity and I helped people out and had a positive effect, I'm still getting in the club, right? I don't fucking know. I was literally watching the TV going like, holy shit, I finally found my 700 club guy that I can get into this. And when you accept Christ, it's just like, yeah, I don't need that. I just need the first part. Now you're having me choose teams. In every religion, people say what that guy says, and then it gets to that fork in the fucking road, and then it's Yahweh, Allah, God, Buddha, and then that just somehow it divides people. What a surprise, right? What a surprise. People just start arguing, and then they fucking kill each other. I don't know. We're morons. All right.